Hello everyone and welcome to the Raw Report. We've got a couple of the presidents on the show so far, and while they're great administrators, their playing days are quite far behind them, it would be fair to say. So we've gone straight to one of our current club legends on the netball side of things, and we've got Ellie Fuhrmeister joining us today. So before we get into Ellie, make sure you subscribe to the podcast in Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You'll get this direct straight into your feed. You won't need to go searching for it, and you'll hear our wonderful voices straight away. Now, Ellie's resume, it's going to take a little while, so you'll have to bear with me. She is a Seymour Football Netball Club Life Member, having received that honour in 2024. Which also qualified her as a GVL Life Member, having passed 200 A-grade games. She's a three-time A-grade premiership player, an A-grade premiership coach in 2022. She also played that year, and that's the year of the famous three-peat, which no doubt we'll get stuck into a little bit later as well. She also co-coached the B Reserve Premiership that year. She was head coach of the Netball Club for 3 years, has coached pretty much every grade at the club, starting in her coaching career in 2016, has won 3 club best and fairest, including the last couple in the A grade. We've probably missed something, but that is the brief but very long resume of Ellie Fuhrmeister. Ellie, thank you very much for coming on the Raw Report.
Thank you for having me. I think it's really great to have some more media around our club, so good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. And as we've said, that resume definitely speaks for itself. It's the envy of many people around the club, and I imagine throughout the competition. So not many can boast a record like that. And it's probably a good time to reflect on your career to date. So we believe congratulations are in order, and you're probably not quite putting the dress on this year. So can you tell us why you'll be stepping away from the court? I think your old man might have already spilled the beans recently, but better to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Yes, so my husband Sam and I will be having a baby mid-year, which we're super excited about. But unfortunately means I won't be taking the netball court for the first time in a long time. But we're very excited for this next chapter.
Wonderful, and a big congratulations to you and Sam. And Sam will still be holding down the defensive end in the reserves this season, I'm sure. We'll have to make sure he sticks around and doesn't get conned into too many dad duties in the footy season. And we're looking forward to seeing that next generation come through. Now, we spoke to Jared about your connection to the Lions, and you've been around the club probably since you could speak, possibly since you could breathe. So what are some of your early memories of being around Kings Park before you were playing? And I can imagine it would have been a great environment to grow up in.
Yeah, mum and dad obviously were quite heavily involved in the club for a really long time. So us kids would often get packed in the car and off to all the netball games and football games. And it was certainly good fun to be around the club. I think from that early age of being a kid and, you know, being probably a bit feral running around the back of the oval or around the netball court was good fun, and it was really social for us. And I think, you sort of felt included in the club from such a really young age. So, yeah, loved it.
Lovely. And we'll jump forward from the kids terrorising the joint to you get a bit older and you transition straight into the under-17s where you pick up a best and fairest. That's an honour in and of itself. Did you think at that point you might have achieved everything you've gone on to achieve? Did you have any goals in mind back then? So what was the mindset like coming out of the juniors?
I think when you're young, you probably don't see, you know, what life's going to become. But certainly coming into that under-17 side, I was really lucky to have some good coaches. So I'd been coached by Kathy McInerney and Abby Mercedes sort of leading into that year. I think Abby was the coach of the year. I was lucky enough to pick up the best and fairest, and she was such a good role model early on there. So I think, the 17s team was probably where I really fell in love with netball and sort of thought, I'm really enjoying this and I want to know more about it. And the people that were there supporting me really encouraged that.
So once you finish with the 17s, you decide that's a bit too easy, go straight into the senior netball, 2015, very early on. You're winning a premiership, breaking a fairly significant drought for the club in the A grade, and that is just over a decade ago now. So many people might not have been around the club back then, or perhaps have left the club since then. So can you run us through that flag and some of those names that were involved back then?
Yeah, coming out of the under-17s, I was lucky enough to get a position in the A-grade squad. But in saying that, I wasn't really taking the court all that often. I was one of the young ones sitting behind Kath Knott and Millie Brock, who were these tall, athletic goalers at the time. So in terms of my personal season in 2015, it was kind of a fairy tale ending. I didn't really, like I said, take the court. About a week and a half out of the grand final, Kath Knott had to step away. So I was sort of handed the goal attack bib on the day. It was my first full game for the whole season. So it was kind of maybe a bit of luck for me personally to sort of get that bib and have a crack, and we ended up winning the game 20 years after, my aunties were playing in an A-grade flag. So, Auntie Pauline and Veronica were running around 20 years before I got to have a medal around my neck, which is really special. But in that side, we were really, really blessed with some really talented players. Al McDonald, Casey Adamson, Rosie O'Sullivan, Millie Brock, Sarah Douglas, Sarah Sokulski, names that are still quite heavily involved in the club. We were all running around sort of 10, 11 years ago now, winning a flag. So it's really cool to see that those names are still involved or have come and gone from the club. But we're really blessed with the perfect ending to a season.
Well, there's nothing like being thrown in the deep end for a grand final, and you either sink or swim, so you've clearly swum there. And speaking of being thrown into the deep end, the following year, you step into the coaching ranks with the under-17. Since then, you've gone through and coached pretty much everyone who's stepped on a court at Seymour. How would you describe yourself as a coach back then compared to how you are now? I imagine there's been some changes in your approach and philosophy. And were there any people around the club then that had a big influence on the coaching side?
Yeah, when I first started out, I sort of never considered coaching as an option. I wasn't the most outgoing person in my early days, but when the idea was floated that maybe I should coach the under-17s, I got really excited about it. I'd fallen in love with the game and the club and wanted to contribute in all ways that I could. So taking that on certainly had its challenges at such an early age. I was very lucky to have people like Veronica Hager and Jen Pearce in my corner who sort of got me through those early days. Coaching junior girls has its challenges. But certainly from then till now, I've built a lot of confidence. I've certainly expanded my knowledge, and I've been so lucky to play with so many talented players and have good people around me that I've really just learnt from them, and I've taken what, people have taught me or given me and put that into my coaching side of things. So yeah, I'm just grateful for the teams I've been able to play in alongside having some great coaches myself that I pretty much stole their knowledge and put that into sort of junior teams, and then, progressed into senior netball, which I really enjoyed taking on that challenge as well.
Yeah, we've been blessed with some fantastic coaches over the years and even since, so very fortunate. Now, 2019, another premiership. It starts to become a bit of par for the course on the netball side of things. As we said to Jared recently, without the netball, there'd be a lot of brick showing around these rooms. The footballers haven't really been carrying their weight of late. But then we hit the pandemic, and it's a couple of tumultuous years for everyone. But 2022 becomes a huge year for you. You step up as head coach while still playing. You're coaching the A grade full-time, co-coaching B-Res, I believe. And before we get into what happened in 2022, because that year will live on forever in everyone's memory, how did you find the balancing the coaching and playing aspects with so much on your plate?
Yeah, 2022 sort of felt like I'd sort of become in a good routine with my personal life and my fitness, and playing-wise I was feeling quite good. To take on that player-coach role was something I probably never imagined for myself, but it felt right in the moment, and I was well supported by a really good A-grade side that had sort of been playing together for a few years. So I think my teammates sort of pushed me over the line to give me the confidence that I could do it, because certainly intimidating to, think that I could coach the likes of Casey Adamson or Sarah Sokulski, who have gone on and done such amazing things with their netball, or let alone Rosie, who's played every minute of netball alongside me. There was certainly some self-doubt that I could add anything to what they already knew, but I was really lucky stepping into that player coaching role that they just took it in their strides and they helped me and we used each other, and it really was a team effort. So that sort of made the transition really, really easy.
And that famous day at Deakin Reserve in 2022, obviously this isn't my story to tell, it's all yours. 3 premierships, never been done before, we don't think, a clean sweep of the senior grades. You're the club coach, so it's all your responsibility and all your success. Talk us through that day and the celebrations that no doubt followed.
It certainly wasn't all me. I think the lead into that 2022 year, I don't know if maybe COVID played a bit of a part in that we didn't have a season into a bit of a disrupted season in 2021. The girls come back super energetic in 2022. Everyone sort of had a new lease of life, I think. Being the head coach and putting my name towards the 3 senior premierships is something I'll always be proud of, and I'm very happy with. Probably one of the best days of my life. I joked to Sam that it was better than our wedding day. But I think 30 girls or 30 plus girls feeling what you're feeling and feeling on top of the world is just something so special and bonding for our netball club. That season was just incredible, and it doesn't come down to one day. I think the whole season, everyone turned up to training. Everyone had a really good attitude. We had a really we had a really fun time being together as a group, and I think the off-court side of things really reflected on court that season. And we had that fairy tale ending to, I think there's a little bit of luck, but then a lot of work that goes into it, and a lot of people that, have to turn up and put in the work for you to win 3 flags. I'm proud that it will go down in history as our first 3-peat, or, hopefully the first of many to come. So, a really exciting day for everyone.
Now, club coach for 3 seasons, that's obviously the best one. But throughout that period, Seymour was an absolute powerhouse across the netball and remains a powerhouse to this day. You'll downplay your role as you've just done, and you've probably touched on a bit of this through that top-end talent. We had some pretty incredible players at that point in time and still do, and a beautiful culture, as much as the B Reserve girls are a pain in everybody's behind sometimes, and there's a few that are a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic there. But how did it all come together so beautifully? Is it a fusion of that fun culture and some really talented netballers, or what do you put it down to?
Yeah, look, I think our B-Res girls, they really do bring a different type of energy, but I think it's one that's really needed on the netball side of things, because your A grade can be quite serious, your B grade can be quite serious, and B-Res, don't get me wrong, they take it very seriously, but there's a lot of girls in there that have just such a funny attitude that bring a lot of laughter to the club. So I think that culture comes from different personalities coming together, but I think what we have at Seymour is really special, where we're very inclusive, and on the netball side of things, we just take everyone in and sort of wrap our arms around them. So I think that really builds a really good club culture off court to then have success on court. And that was always something really important to me and the coaches around me and the players around me, that, we just want to have fun. We just want to play netball, but we're also highly competitive. So I think we just had the right mix that season, in particular the 2022 season, but every season we try and put a lot of work into our off-court mentality and keeping people having fun and enjoying their netball.
Certainly, and you've definitely touched on that. It's a real family culture here, as you can attest to with your family's connections, and in particular those B-Res girls, when those functions roll around, they really hit their strides, and they're fantastic on the netball court, but even better off it. So well done to the B-Res team who lead the way. At the end of 2024, you step down, time for a break, but that's the year you receive not only the club life membership, but also your league life membership, having played 200 A-grade games and contributed plenty to the club off the field as well. So how proud are you of those achievements?
Yeah, I'm very proud of the life memberships with the club and with the league. I think I'm proud that I could hold on to an A-grade bib for 200 plus games. I don't think there's many that have done it, as well as maybe will do it in the future, but I'm certainly have been committed to Seymour for such a long time that getting that recognition is always really special. But at the same time, premierships and seasons and people are probably more my prouder moments where I get to be a part of the club. And
And I assume now you don't get stinged at the gate at away games. Is that true?
Yes. It is nice to not have to pay.
Wonderful. That's a big bonus. Make sure you get your life memberships, everyone. Casey Adamson comes in 2025. That's last year. Feels like a while ago, but only last year. And to your credit, she inherited a fantastic netball program. So she was very lucky, but we were also very lucky to have Casey step into your big shoes. How did you go with that transition back into playing without the coaching role? I know that can be challenging at times, taking that step back, but I imagine it was a big bonus for our netballers having your experience to draw on as well as having Casey. So probably a double threat there.
Yeah, it was probably the right time for me to step back or step away from the coaching side of things. And we were very lucky in that 2024 season. Casey was meant to play for us, but unfortunately did a season-ending injury, so she didn't get to take the court. But she committed to every game on the bench. Honestly, she was pretty much coaching the team in 2024. I was just the face of it, and sort of midway through, I felt that it was time for the club to get a different voice in. I'd felt I was probably more, on the way out, or personally needed a bit of a break from the responsibilities of it, and I was maybe not doing it the best I could. So why not use what you've got when Casey's given such a season to, just being off court? She was the perfect person to approach leading into the 2025 season. So I was really grateful for Casey, and I should probably also mention Meg O'Sullivan for that season in 2024 and seasons beyond that for Meg, particularly the work she did off court for the senior side of things. They were quite grounding in that 2024 season to sort of keep me in it and keep me motivated and make coaching decisions during that season. And then into 2025, Casey accepting the role was perfect for our club, and she brought such professionalism, structure, expertise into it. So an easy transition for me to go back to be a player and learn more from her. And I think that was what was interesting, that even at this old age, I was still learning something from Casey and what she gave to the club and the younger girls, as well as myself being one of the older ones. So we were very lucky to appoint Casey last season.
Wonderful. And that probably drags me into a question without notice, and acknowledging Meg's probably 238 games away from a life membership. Bought some good lollies over those years, so well done. Without notice, as mentioned, those A-grade best and fairest come towards the back end of the year. You've called yourself old, and I'm not saying that, but winning those best and fairest when you're getting towards the other half of your career, did you expect that to happen?
Absolutely not. I've never gone into a season thinking I'm going to, rack up points like that. It's never on my radar at all, and particularly being the age I am and going to training every week, and they're all just getting younger and fitter and stronger. They certainly did come to such a surprise to me, but also like the players in my team like Sikulski and Casey Adamson and Rosie, who's been consistent for years. I never sort of would put myself up there in terms of votes, but I suppose maybe their VNL games and their other injuries or commitments got me over the line there, but certainly not expected. But I'm proud of them as well.
Wonderful. And for the record, you're 30, aren't you? Yeah, so not that old. Still plenty of fight left in there, I'm sure. And then looking ahead to this season, so Elle McDonald, that's a massive get for the club, and we've been lucky with that conveyor belt of coaches from yourself to Casey and Elle. I don't think any club's been that fortunate to have such high quality coaches over such a short period of time. She would have had plenty of offers to go elsewhere, and I think it's probably testament to your work and everyone involved that she's so excited to come back to Seymour where she was before and rejoin that fantastic club culture. You're not playing this year, as we've discussed, but you must be excited to see Elle back, and I hear that you might have got in her ear quite early to try and seal that deal and get her back to the Den.
Yeah, look, I think it's incredible that we've signed Elle and had the history of coaches and players that we've had. So for going from Casey into Elle is just such an amazing experience. And I know the young girls and every netball player at our club at the moment would just be pinching themselves that we've got two girls who are so decorated in their netball careers coaching at our club. But yeah, sort of Elle's super excited to be a part of the club again, and I think it maybe touches back on, you know, the netballers at our club wrapping arms around people. Elle played for us in that 2015 grand final that we won, and a couple of seasons before it, I believe. So she's certainly not new to our environment. So I think we're very incredibly lucky that she held out probably lots and lots of offers to sort of accept a deal with us and come back home to her club. So I don't think it feels like she's coming home to us, which is really nice.
Yes, indeed. We are so fortunate, and you're fortunate, as we've discussed. It's a pretty exciting time of your life, and netball probably pales into insignificance a little bit now that you're expecting a child. So where do you see yourself next year, 5 years down the track here, coming back to netball? Mum's only 800 or so games ahead of you at the moment. Are you going to run her down over the next 25 years?
I'm certainly not going to compete for Mum's record. I don't think I have those sorts of legs in me, but certainly for the near future, even this year, I'll be assisting Elle in any way that I can for as long as I can until our baby comes. But I see myself being at the club for forever. So in any capacity, whether that's playing, coaching, cooking the barbecue, I'll be around for a long time.
Beautiful. And that draws us into functions, which you've also been a big part of over the years. You'll have to be on the zero alcohol beers this season, but I'm sure you'll still be there. What do you love most about the club? And thinking of those functions, you've had some wonderful ones over the years, even knocked some teeth out on the front road here, rumour has it. And given how much netball you've played here, what does this club mean to you?
The club means so much to me. I think it's been a place where I've found a lot of my connections and closest friendships. I won't comment on my antics at the social functions, but certainly I've had my fair share of good times down here, like a lot of people have. The club's just a really fun place to be around. I think there's some really good people involved. I've mostly spoken about the netball side of things, but football and committee and volunteer-wise, we draw in some really good people, which is just makes it a really happy environment to be and positive place to be, whether you want to just come down and have a beer and watch the footy or you actually want to get involved in any way. It's just a really nice place to be, in a place that I feel super comfortable, and that's come back to the people and the friendships and the people that have put in. So yeah, I love the club.
It's a common theme that's emerging, just some beautiful people around the club that we're blessed to have, and the dentist bill is still in the mail, so when you can get the chance to pay that would be fantastic. Rapid fire questions to finish. We've already understood they're not that rapid because no one wants to make anyone too upset by picking their favourites. But we'll start with your favourite lion around the club, your favourite personality at the Football Netball Club.
Yeah, they're not so rapid, but I couldn't nail it down to just one person, to be honest. There's so many people that give so much to the club, particularly the netball side of things. I know, Julie Trimble stepped into a role in recent years. Karen Wright's done multiple years. Veronica's done her fair share of work. So there's plenty of favourite lions out there, but, the ones that crack me up, like your Sarah Waits and your Casey Drummonds. There's just too many people to name, I think, but yeah, there's just too many good personalities to pick just one.
Lovely. The low risk, low reward strategy. Hedge your bets. Fantastic. Let's see if we can nail it down a little shorter in the next list. The best player you've played with. This might be even harder.
Definitely harder. I was having a think about this on my drive over. I could not pick one player. Sorry. Al McDonald and Casey Adamson, who obviously have gone on to play such a high level of netball in Australia and overseas. Like, how can you even pick between those two? But I do need to mention Meg Grabak, who played a few years ago. She was an absolute incredible defender to watch, and Nikita Singh as well. They both sort of won multiple premierships at our club, and were just incredible to watch. But you also just can't go past Sarah Sokulski. She is just, probably goes under the radar a little bit at times, but she is just solid, and she's getting better and better every season. So, again, I've made the list even longer.
Couple of fine wines now. Sarah as well. She does just keep getting better and better. That's a good shout. Best player you've played against, and you would have played against some superstars over the years.
Yes, I've certainly been challenged a lot. One player that came to mind, she plays for Echuca. Her name is Ash Mangdon. I'm sure people have heard of her. She's also been around the traps for quite a long time. I think she's a fellow life member of the league as well. I remember coming across her in my early years of playing A grade and just thinking, I am not up to this, and played on her right until, last season, and she's still, giving me a run for my money. So definitely the toughest, strongest, smartest player I've played against.
Beautiful. Just butter her up, and when you're back on court against her, you can teach her a lesson. The best line you've ever seen. This could be when you're young, whenever, at your discretion.
Oh, so hard. I will try and name one person, and I hope I don't offend anyone else. But I can't go past naming Andy McKenzie. I think she is a true lion. She is just through and through the club. She is incredibly loyal to the club. She's given years of playing, off court, volunteering. She's a go-to lion when it comes to getting anything done off court or on court, and she's just, she bleeds the Lions colours. So I think she's definitely my favourite lion.
Well done, Andy. Now, the last one is a bit tricky because we sort of ask, if you had to pay your money at the gate and come through, who would you like to watch? Who do you come to see to watch? But now you don't put your hands in your pockets as a League Life member. But if you did have to, who would you pay your money at the gate to see?
For this upcoming season, I am really, really excited about a couple of young girls that I think the last few weeks are really showing what they're here for this season. So I actually want to mention Lucy Zotti and Liv Pearce as my up-and-comers this year, the ones to watch. I think Lucy's had a good couple of seasons with the club, and, we've sort of spoken about Lucy being the future, but I think the future is here right now because she's playing such incredible netball and was easily one of our best players last year. So I'm really excited to see what she brings to the team this year, as well as Liv Pearce, who had a year off. She's sort of come through every grade. She's played every grade of netball at our club, but I think she's finding her way this season, and I'm really excited to see what she puts out on court.
That might be the slogan we put on the poster this year. The future is here. Thank you very much, Ellie. And that's probably where we'll finish up. Any final message for the year ahead?
No, just good luck to all our teams. I hope we see some more premierships. I hope we see some more fun. Hopefully we can get some football and netball playing deep into September.
Thank you very much, Ellie. And it's worth mentioning Ellie's just sold the house with Sam through one of our fantastic sponsors at Ray White Seymour. But if you flick back to the start of this episode and listen to that resume of hers, they're going to need a bloody big trophy cabinet wherever they end up next, because it will be absolutely heaving. And we're very fortunate to have had Ellie contribute to our club on and off field, coaching, playing, organising functions, doing every odd job you can think of. So very, very lucky to have had Ellie at the Lions for such a long time, and a deserved Life member. So thanks, Ellie, for joining us on the Raw Report. We'll be back soon with some more content focused on the season ahead. Thanks for joining us, and go Lions.